Hey, what's good? What's good? Yo, it's Coach Rashid, and I'm back. I just want to go ahead and welcome you to the roadmap for eState. It's a 2034 roadmap, and I'm going to do something a little special tonight as well. So hold on. Let's get this thing started. All right. Peace, and I'll see you in a minute.
If you want it all, yeah. If you want it all, yeah. If you want to get your real estate game on, turn your attention to the industry that's the most strong. Yeah. Yeah. Scrolling through listings, I'm scrolling through plays. They talking opinions, I'm talking in pay. Luxury villas, condos, I'm running away. Cash flow season, got them for days. Still on screen, but I'm reading the block. Cap right hitting like a watch full of rocks. I'm chasing views and I'm not broken. Click after click, I'm collecting NC tokens. Yeah. If you wanna get your real estate game on, turn your attention to the industry that's the most strong. Buy low with crypto, let the rent pay on and then on. Turn your attention to the industry that's the most strong. If you wanna get your real estate game on, shift yours from the flexing to the proof. Stack tokens, stack shares, that goes long. Turn your attention to the industry that's the most strong. Yeah. Yeah, crypto hack on point, EA stay paying my share. No worry about long cat, the numbers are there. They flashing labels, I'm flashing the square. Line on the contract, my name right there. Tokenization replacing my bread. Just daily profits and daily hate instead. Premium properties on the blockchain. Keep me investing ahead of the game. Whoa, if you wanna get your real estate game on, let's go. Turn your attention to the industry that the most strong. Buy low with crypto, let the villa pay on and then on. Turn your attention to the industry that's the most strong. If you wanna get your real estate game on, shift yours from the flexing to the proof. Stack tokens, stack shares, that goes long. Turn your attention to the industry that's the most strong. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. You like that? That's good stuff. All right. So let's get off this roadmap. So I want to talk about this roadmap and I will definitely make space here so you can kind of see the whole screen. I think that makes sense. But hope you like that intro. That was pretty cool, huh? Yeah, something that I was working on a little while back. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this. So this roadmap is something that eStates has put together, and it gives you an idea of where they're going, right? A lot of companies, a lot of programs, these online platforms, they come out, they don't really give you that warm fuzzy about what's that next step, right? How you're going to plan out what you're going to do next month, next week, what's your marketing plan? How are you going to make aware, what they're bringing to the table? Like what is your plan, right? Because you don't know what tomorrow brings, then you really don't know which direction to go. And so that's what's so powerful about what estate has provided. Is so many avenues for us to learn and to understand the vision and the direction of the organization. All right. So when we talk about this particular um, this particular document, the CEO Brandon Stevenson. So he put this together, got it out to us. This is a while back, but just to highlight a couple of things here is the registration. So the company itself, right? It really came together, got registered in Panama November 2024. And they didn't really have the website together. They did not have the tokenized properties. It was this concept that they knew made sense, but they wanted to see how they could make it work. And so they did bring on some experts in this field from the blockchain side, the crypto side, and they brought in his co CEO or co founder, Mike Hamilton, which is part of Eli Properties for over 50 years, right? So the company's been around for over 50 years doing property investments and looking for premium properties for their clients. So they basically had put that together. Um, and when they came together, they were able to create eState. And so, that's just a little bit of kind of that Vision 2034 is kind of where they came from. As you can see on the screen here, by June 2025, that's when they launched the e-estate platform that we know today. And over the next few months, they have acquired over $100 million worth of premium properties. And I've done some research online, even through AI, and asked the question about the average, tokenized property fractional ownership, company out there. And the numbers were right around 60 million as far as the average. There was nobody at 100 million. The only one that was at 100 million is the estate. And they came out swinging, right? And so that was pretty powerful. They've been as high as 150 million since we've been on, since June 2025, but we've sold some properties in the millions as well. So those are some of the things that go on with the platform, right? So I want to dive in. They started, like I said, 2024, right? They kicked it off, and the owner, CEO, and his co-CEO, they basically came together, created the e-estate ecosystem, but individually, they had a background in real estate as well as investments in blockchain. And ARDR, which is the Association for Real Digital Realtors, which is headed by Brandon Stevenson and it's Carol Peterson, and then Eli Property Group. That's with Mike Hamilton. All right, and so that's what makes up estate. They got registered in Panama. They established solid international legal base compliant with the Financial Action Task Force and the AML, regulations for anti-money laundering. So they are meeting the standards that they needed to meet, made sure that they had that in place to show compliance internationally before they even got off the ground. Right. So that was where they started. 2025, they had their first achievements. They got 9 properties that they put out there. Then they got the LAI status, which is your international legal status to participate in this space. And they have the EST token. A lot of people don't understand how this process works. The EST is an actual participation token. You can look that up and understand what participation token means, but that's what we are doing, participating in a digital real estate platform. Right. And we get paid based upon the production of the properties. But we personally don't own the properties. We own the tokens that represent the properties. Big difference when it comes to the logistics. But at the end of the day, we get paid because we control it. We don't own it. Completion of the platform development, down to improving the platform. And I'll show you that for the future years that they post here. And ARDR became part of the program, which is really how the members that become agents, you fall under that association, and you have a membership and a lot of benefits to that, right? And so they brought in a new property, and they wanted to start it at a very low price point, very low barrier to entry, so that anybody and everybody could get a proof of concept of, hey, this is how it works. And that's where the $10 per share for the Miami property comes into play. So it's very cool right there. And the first event was hosted out there in Raleigh, North Carolina, and that was in 2025, right? Got some partnership agreements going on. They successfully sold the Bali tourism project, 750,000, and all of the people that invested in that property, they got their initial investment back, plus whatever profits that they earned along the way. All right. So basically, 2025 into 2026, this is more of what they're doing as a transition, right? Transitioning and expanding, because they got the proof of concept, they got the members on board, they got some of the experts on board. A lot of us came in 2025, right at the beginning of this platform liftoff, And by the end of 2025, they had some pretty serious influencers and people that are well versed in this space. And so we were able to go ahead, got Anthony Deloach was able to get the presentation slides really, to a point where they were very, very nice and comprehensive. And he started doing massive, massive amounts of awareness through these presentations on a daily basis. And then eventually, here in 2026, we had more people that have jumped on and started doing these live presentations. I chose to stick with doing the recordings and live streams because there's plenty, plenty of people doing live presentations, right? So here we're talking about strengthening the ecosystem, right? But while we're strengthening the ecosystem, you got to have a good foundation before you go global, before you go international, before you grow to the levels that they really want. You're talking about getting to $1 billion in value for the tokenized properties on your site, then you really got to have the right foundation, and that's what they're doing, right? So here it talks about tokenization of 2 new property categories, houses and tourism projects, launching a monthly summit. So they got actual summits. We'll show you that in a minute. Upgrade of the platform. So we just got an upgrade to the platform, and I'll show you a little bit of that as we go. So here's in 2026, the expansion is happening. You have the ESA Miami Summit was its January, February time frame. We're in multiple media outlets. USA Today literally has article about us. There is Forbes has some, Bloomberg has some, and we have our top producer, which is Crypto Mason Martin McLean, and he does articles as well. Finbow, we have articles there. We got Bitcoin.com that just recently did an article about tokenization, real estate tokenization through eEstate. So we are really, really ramping this thing up, and we definitely invite you to get on board because the wave of wealth is going to come crashing down on you unless you can serve, right? We got the apartments. We got a 10-year strategic partnership agreement. And so the 10-year strategic partnership agreements were very selective. The company basically looked at, who was producing and who has the potential to produce at a higher level. And so what I know is in April of 2026, I was invited to be one of the strategic partners. And so I got my agreement and, now I have a 10-year agreement. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. Benefits are great as well. Development of a fully featured mobile application. So we know that's part of what they're looking to get accomplished this year as well. Lots of great things happening. Like I said, with the villas, we got the regional live events. So right now, they're doing live events across the U.S. We have Anthony Deloach, one of the strategic partners now. He's a global ambassador. And we have Daryl Porter, which is a strategic partner that is doing the traveling and doing presentations across the U.S. So it's pretty, pretty powerful there. We're looking to go into D.C. with our 1-year anniversary event, which is going to be massive. That's happening in June. Hosting the first World Tokenized Real Estate Forum, which will be in November. I think that's going to be in LA. That's pretty cool right there. Like I said, launching the eEstate Ambassador Program, and Anthony Deloach, like I said, he's been instrumental in getting this program off the ground. So it's just right to see with his activity, his energy, and his level of knowledge and just belief, and really what he brings to the table in the program itself. Yes, he was selected as the first ambassador of the eEstate platform. So it's pretty awesome right there. So we've seen all these things happen, and we're going to see more happening in 2027. So I want to show you where we're going, right? And I've talked about where we've been, where we're at, where we're going. And you're talking large scale property. So right now, our top property is about 255K. So with a property at 255K out of Dubai, it is a development property and it's handled a little differently. But you're going to average about 1% a day on something like that. right? But they're coming out with something a little larger, and that's coming soon. We're looking at rebranding of the platform. So there's been a little bit of change going on, but they're looking at doing a more massive change to the platform because of new developments, new categories, new catalog. So they're trying to get to the $1 billion in volume and value. So definitely going to change some things. And then issuance of the new tradable token. And so that's going to be discussed later. I don't want to get into that too deep. Listen, of a new token that's going to get into some, external things, another way to benefit from this awesome platform. And that's why it's great. So these are some of the things that if you're looking at this and you have not gotten a membership, you haven't become an agent, you haven't been get inside and get on the inside, this is your opportunity. You have to understand where we're going. And if you're in already, you're going to benefit greatly, especially when these tokens that are going for the tradable tokens, the one that are going to be listed externally, you want to be first. I'm telling you, you got to get in place because this is vitally important to anybody and everybody. Like, so it's not, anything to do with financial investment advice. This is just being smart to get in position while the market and while the company, while the organization is making these massive moves. Because if you're grandfathered in, you're going to see massive benefits, right? And that's just fact. It's not, you know, any type of financial advice. It just means that you're going to be in a position to be first, and you want to do that. We got more legal framework for the ARDR. Get in before we change that particular the framework, change the particular application process, right? So those are some of the things that you're looking at happening pretty soon. And yes, by the end of next year, we'll have another World Tokenized Real Estate Forum, right? That'll be pretty awesome because I think we're going to have the numbers are going to be off the charts by then. And then we're going to start opening up regional offices with some of our strategic partners. So that's going to be amazing. All right, 2028. You know what? I want to get into that, but here's why I'm not going to do it, because that's going to take a little more time, and we'll do that on part 2. So if you're okay with that, then I will move on and I will get into the website and give you just a little bit more information about what we're doing over there. All right. So I hope you enjoyed that. That's just kind of just a little insight to where we started, kind of where we are, and kind of, by next year, this is where we probably will be. And the reason why I say that is because in 2025 and 2026, they've definitely jumped over those hurdles and made it happen. And like I said, just recently, we got some of the website updated and the app. They've talked about that coming out soon. There's a lot of new material that the head of agents, Carol, has been putting out for us. So if I don't have that on my computer, but I got it on my phone. So maybe if I can pull that up, I'll pull some of that up. Right now, I just want to give you some insight to the back office, and I'm gonna give you just some insight to, if you're new to this and you're just learning, here's how you make a purchase. So I just want to get into that as well and show you that you can definitely make a purchase. Pretty simple process. I got some new folks that just registered 2 or 3 days ago. And so I kind of want to walk you through this process. So if you're checking this out, then this is my back office. And then I can walk you through this particular process, show you how to make a purchase. Okay. So let's see if we can get that up and running. All right. So what I want to do, I want to go here, and there, like I said, there's a couple of new things that stand out. If you haven't been on the platform, then it won't make any difference. But yes, there are a few things that are new. And so if you scroll down, this has been changed. They've added these right here. And so it's pretty easy to see your agent. You can adjust your landing page from here as an agent, right? So it's pretty good. One thing I always forget is this wheel. So I want to go to this wheel first so that I don't forget. You do have the ability to spin this wheel and you can actually win actual US dollars, like money. So I'm going to show you how that works, and then we'll bounce off. But every day you should look over here and see if you have some claims that you can get. Right. So right here it says I got 537, 3,537. So let's collect, and bam, I got four. Man, that's a lot. So now, it's funny. It's like they give it to you and then they take it away from you right there. All right, we're spinning the wheel. Let's see what's going on. See? I can add that to my wallet, right? Okay, let's do it again. See what else we can get. All right. Not bad. Okay, we try that. So that's what, 2, 3. Let's see how much we get today. 3, 4. That's 4.5. That's not bad. We'll take that 4.5. All right, so show you how that worked. So now if I go over here, instead of 616, I got 620. That means I got $4 today. So it's pretty cool. And 50 cents, by the way. All right. But yeah, all of this. So this right here shows you that assets, and it gives you an idea of what you actually have and how much you make pretty much per day, right? So the average per day is about 120 right there. And then over here on the agent side, then there's an additional amount as well. Okay. All right. So like I said, let's go here and we're going to do a property purchase because that's key to what we do, right? So let's go to buyer. We're going to hit on the real estate. All right. So when we hit that button, it gives us this one right here, right? And so you can kind of see everything in one place. So you bring that down. And so if I want to see, so if I wanted to invest in this one, and let's say I wanted to put $1,000, I can literally put whatever amount that I want. So I can put 1,000, 10,000. I mean, whatever you want, you can put in there, right? But the key is, what's the profit per day? If you see the profit per day, then that gives you an idea, which is right underneath the picture there. Profit per day is 0.32 to 0.52. So your profit's going to be relatively low, but it does give you a proof of concept. Or you can go and say, okay, I like that, but this lake house seems like a pretty good deal. And it is a really nice lake house, by the way. So you can look at all the pictures right here. Then you see that it's 0.37 to 0.54. Not bad, right? Lakeside, Oregon. Okay. Really nice property. So if you say, I want to do 2,500 in this property, so that's going to pay you about $238 a month, right? And so you can break even about 10 months. And that's not bad. But I got a few of those as well. But like I said, you can put any amount that if you have a budget of 10,000, then you can say, okay, let me find a property that's 10, right? So you can go through here and you can say, okay, is there a property for 10,000? And then you can kind of look and see what's available. So let's scroll down. Okay. And there's the Commerce property. So this one is 10,270. Unfortunately, it's already sold out. Okay. That's why it's blurred out like that, because it just sold out recently. You see right here, 494. So that's about 495,000 of the tokens have been purchased. That means it's already sold out. So you can't buy that one. But what I've told, my my team is, if you have 10,000 that you plan on making a purchase with, then why don't you go ahead, because the amounts are similar, right? It's not a big difference. And this is producing really well. Now, how do we know? Well, we got the last 7 days of production right here. And it shows us 0.58, 9, 57, 56, 0.6 right there, right? So if you kind of average that out, I would say you're probably going to get right about 0.58. So I don't know, that's just a rough estimate, 0.58, right? Which is great. And you can take that 0.58 and then you can kind of get an idea. So you got 49.50 there. And so if you buy two of those, let's say you say I got 10,000 that I want to purchase something with. That's my budget, right? So that's 10,000. So that's going to give you basically a little bit over 2 shares of this particular property. You get those 2 shares, you're making $61 a day. So that's giving you about $1,200 a month, which is phenomenal, right? So that's a way to look at it. And we still have, a lot of those left because it is relatively new. And so you can definitely do that. All right. So definitely keep that in mind when you're thinking about making your purchase. All right. So we got this one right here, which is the business property out of LA. This is one I've been looking forward to getting. So I want to see if I can go ahead and do that. I was really trying to get to about 200 a day on that one. 194 is still a good number. And because it's putting me over 4,000. So even if it was 200 a day, it wouldn't be that much more. But let's just see what that looks like if I was 26. So that's about 41. So it's still close, right? Something like that. So it's pretty good deal. Yeah, 41, 49. So that makes sense. All right. Let's go. So I think I got that. So that's about that. All right. So now with this one, what's so special about this is when you get through level 1, which is up to 10,000, then you go from the 10,000 to the 25, then you're at level 2. Now your ability to purchase this business property, then that's going to open up level 4, right? And so that's what we want to do is take it little by little. But now that we are at this point, then we're opening up more doors, but we're making, a lot more per day on a passive level, and I always ask people, how would you like to make, over with what I have over $300 a day passively before I even wake up in the morning. I mean, that's pretty awesome, right? I mean, if I do the job or not, if I work or not, if I, travel and come back home, guess what? My money is still working for me. So pretty awesome stuff. And I definitely invite actual like real estate agents to take a look at this because you really could put yourself in a way better position. And if you're a broker, you can help so many people that you're training how to become a broker or have their own brokerage. Then you can show them how they can actually diversify their passive or residual income in this way. But hey, get in touch with me. We can talk about that. So let's go ahead and buy that property, right? So we click that button that says buy property. We say we're going to do 25,600, right? My e-wallet, boom, we're going to drop that in there. It says that I got 620. So I'm going to do, so it's at 25,600. So I can do that. And here it says I'm going to make that. Okay, got it. And then we're going to scroll down. We're not going to enable auto capitalization. That is basically compounding where you don't get to withdraw at any point. And then 18 months later, yes, you have a big amount, but you do not have access to the profits on a daily basis. And since this is, part of the program to be able to withdraw when you want to, then we leave that off. But some of the other properties, we do put that on. All right. All right. So we're going to pay now. That's going to get us about 4,000 a month on autopilot. Then it says that they want me to sign a contract. Okay. So I just go here and you can just do this and do this. And that's my signature, if you believe that. And then you have to do one more step. You actually pay now. I know we thought we were already done, huh? But nope. Then we go here and we hit this button. All right. So that gives us a little more to work with. Okay. And so when that happens, you can go to this. See this little bell thing right here? That's the notifications. So let's open up the notifications and it says we got agent commissions, but it's I was trying to see if it would show us that a purchase was made. All right, so we're going to go back and let's see what we got there. So as you can tell, it took the balance from here. Okay. All right. And when it took that balance, it should have added it here. Let's see if we added it here. It is kind of late at night. So, all right. So this right here, it has been added because it was like 214. Now we're at 239. So that went up a little bit. And when you see that, you can kind of keep up with your what levels and how close you are to the next level. So I was level 7, 100% already. So level 8 right here. Okay. So level 8 got about 60. So I got a 40% more to get to level 8. So that's what I'm working on that. But my real goal is to get to this level 10 right here. And so if you're out there, I just need about 800,000 in volume. And so look, I'm looking for 8 people to drop 100,000 in here. Let's rock. Let's go. Get in touch with me if you're ready to go ahead and level up like that. All right. That's what I'm talking about. And let's see. I wonder if I get some ETK out of that. I'm not sure if I do. But let's take a look and see. So you can click on the USD or ETK. So I don't think I got any ETK out of it. But I did get the volume that I was looking for. So that's awesome. So we're good with that. So as an agent, you get 100% of your volume counted towards your levels, right? So that helps you level up. And each level brings a new bonus as well, right? So that's pretty cool. All right. So that's kind of your, like I said, if you're an agent, you get to go through all of that. But you can look at your assets here. And all right, so I got about 45,000 purchased. And then I can scroll down and I can look at, see the property purchase and profits credited. And you can look at everything that's going on, which is here, right? So all the operations here, bonus. That's from the wheel. Then this is a daily bonus reward. So I got 4 ETK as a bonus, which is cool. I didn't know I got that, but I'll take it. And yeah, so you can kind of scroll through your back office and see all that stuff as well. All right. Anyway, that's where we're at. And it's pretty cool. All right. So anyway, what do you think? All right. Yeah. So yeah, hope that was something that helped you out a little bit. If you are, like I said, you're watching a program or you're kind of on the fence and trying to decide what you want to do. You saw how easy that was, right? You just, fund your account and then you choose which one you want and you make that purchase. And that's all you have to do. Very simple, very straightforward. All right. Well, hey, look, it's been real. It's been fun. It's kind of late. I'm traveling. So I will definitely be in touch. If you got any questions, you got any concerns, if you're a new member, you need some help, definitely get in touch with me and I'll do what I can to make sure that you are good to go. And if you're in East Texas, anywhere from Dallas all the way down to San Antonio, if you will, come on through Tyler, Texas on Sunday, May 24th. And we got some things going on there. We know we got, one of our top leaders, senior agent, level 7, is right there in East Texas. Marnita Scott, she's knocking it out the park. She's really doing a great job there. So yeah, if you're in that area, definitely, stop by, get in touch, and hey, let's see if we can, join forces and make it happen. Right? We're just trying to spread awareness, make sure everybody and anybody gets access to this information because the wave of wealth is coming through, and all we're doing is bringing surfboards. So it's been Coach Rashid. It's been a pleasure, and like I said, go out and be great. Peace, and I'll see you on the next one. All right. Y'all take it easy.